kitchen, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Usually I have a cocktail already made up that I've tested on people, and then I'm showing you guys how I did it. Today, I'm actually going to go through the process with you because I've had this idea for a cocktail, but I haven't had time in my real life to make it and test it, so we're just going to try it out. This was inspired by Steve the Bartender has a cocktail featured on his channel right now called the Enzoni that I believe he was inspired by another cocktail maker. And the concept behind that cocktail is grapes with Campari and gin. I am not a huge Campari fan, but grapes caught my attention. So today we're gonna experiment with grapes. This beautiful gin mare, a friend of mine sent this bottle to me for my birthday. Thank you, Claire. This is a Mediterranean gin. Oh, it is so good. If you can get your hands on a bottle of this, per her instruction, the best way to drink this is over ice with a sprig of rosemary. It is delicious, but it's also going to be delicious in this cocktail. And then we're also going to play with, I thought honey instead of a simple syrup, a little bit of lemon just in case, and then a little bit of fresh rosemary because I really want to bring out those botanicals that are in the gin. You don't have to use gin mare, whatever gin you have on hand is going to be fine. But I feel like if you've been watching me, you know at this point, we drink the good stuff. So first thing we're going to do is actually mix up a little bit of a honey simple, which I just have honey out of my pantry, and we're going to do equal parts honey and hot water. You don't have to use the stovetop for this. Like I just put some hot water in my teapot. I'm just going to eyeball it. I don't know, a couple tablespoons of honey. You want to do roughly equal parts honey and equal parts water. And you can always mess with this ratio. It's just not that big of a deal. You just want to make sure that the honey is totally dissolved in the water because honey out of the jar is going to be way too thick for a cocktail. I know it's just honey and water, but it's really good and it reminds me of a hot toddy. So we are going to take our grapes. My thought is I want to muddle the grapes. I'm using red grapes because they have a little bit of a zing to them. Seedless, obviously. I don't know. Small handful. Take our muddler. Oh wow, these are harder to muddle than I thought they would be. Oh, it's satisfying. It's like popping bubble paper. All right, I could do this all day. So it looks like I've got some juice in there. Usually when I tell you to muddle, I'm like, don't worry, you don't need to pulverize them. I want you to pulverize these. There we go. Okay. I like where this is headed. Now, I know if you're making a bee's knees cocktail, which is also gin with lemon juice and honey, a lot of bartenders shake that, but it's my understanding you should never ever shake gin, especially good gin, because the shaking actually changes the compounds that give those lovely botanical flavors. So we're just gonna stir our gin. Okay, so 2 ounces of our gin mare. And I think I just want to do a 1/2 ounce of our honey syrup. We can always add more, but once you've gone too far, you can never take it back. All right, let's give this a stir. I still don't have this technique down. That's what I don't care about, that. We're gonna stir this a little bit longer than usual because I want that gin to be nice and cold. All right, let's see where we're at. I feel really good about this. Well, That's really good. We could add some lemon juice if we want to make it just a touch brighter. We could actually add a tiny bit more honey. And I'm talking like a little bit, okay? So we're gonna go from 1/2 ounce to 3/4 ounce. I mean, just the tiniest bit. Subtlety is key. We're gonna add just a touch of lemon juice. I mean, like, seriously, little bit. Like, I didn't even squeeze the thing all the way down. So take it easy with the lemon juice. That'll do. Okay, so we're gonna take our chilled glass and then strainer over the glass to keep the particles out. And then for our garnish, we're gonna get real creative. So I have some fresh rosemary from the garden, and we're gonna strip the end of this so that we have a spear, a couple of grapes, and just thread those on there like shish kebabs. So here we have it. This is our first experiment without having tried it on friends first. Let's have a taste. Oh my God, that's really good. We'll definitely make that again. I think if you're making this at home, you can play with the ratios a little bit. I think it could even stand a touch more honey. I really didn't want to overdo it with that because a drink that's too sweet, especially with a gin that's that good, just ruins the whole thing. Oh, but this is really good. Cheers, friends.